a lot of the problems I had, she saw again and again and again with founder-led sales. You get a relatively smart, in my case, or really smart in a lot of others' cases, technical guy who's got an engineering mindset, has some business knowledge, right? Some from hard knocks, some from formal training, and zero formal training when it comes to sales and revenue and growth. And they're able to just by pulling the rope with their teeth, pushing the boulder up the hill, grow the MSP to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. And then they cap out and they try to hire someone. And salespeople are pretty good at interviewing because you're selling yourself, but there's not a tool, there's not a process, there's not coaching and support, and they crash and burn, and then they
It's my
try
favorite
again.
line. Hopefully, the best sale you're making is not the one to get this job, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's like that's the thing is we try and we fail, we try and we fail, we outsource and that fails, we go to marketing and that fails, and we get burned and touch the stove, touch the stove, touch the stove, and we see again and again and again, man, this just doesn't work. And that's kind of where most of my conversations start these days is I'm talking with guys who are like, yeah, well, I tried this and I tried that and I tried this and none of this is working, and I feel like I'm stuck. And that's really the like what where I'm at today is we Carrie and I both after we sold the companies we said okay, well we could go like sit on a beach and hang out under the umbrella all day, but we're really, really passionate about growth. We're passionate about sales. We're passionate about the channel. I truly think that an MSP makes its community healthier, right? There's not a business on the planet that doesn't need IT, and we're all the ones who make that stuff work, keep it safe, fix it when it breaks. Like that's critical. It's critical infrastructure, and I think that helping MSPs grow is a way for us to help make America a healthier and stronger country for all of us. And so that's why like
We are
that's
all
why we like to do it.
responsible for protecting ourselves and
That's right.
our friends and our community's data, right? And that's really where the MSP comes into play. There's a lot of sensitive information that we are put in charge of that we need to make sure that doesn't get out there. But I want to pivot back to something you kind of talked about, as you were going into that introduction, and really about the owner-led sales process, right? One of the things that I always say is this is a community largely built by tech founders, folks that were
Mm-hmm.
never expecting to be in a sales position, and it's also mostly accidental entrepreneurs. When you talk to most people's journey to becoming an MSP, it came out of not a desire to, hey, I want to own a business someday, but hey, I was laid off, or hey, I was working with a few side customers, and next thing I knew, I was able to do it full time, or I just thought I could do it a better way. And that's great. But to your point, it seems to cap out once you exhaust your friends and family network, if you will. And referrals, while wonderful, are not the accelerator because referrals are not predictable, right? So, what are some of the things that you guys are really focusing in on to make these folks more empowered and better salespeople?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so you're exactly right. We tap out our friends and family network, and you go through this period when you're growing where revenue's doubling, revenue's doubling, revenue's doubling, and you're shooting up and you blow past $1 million and you knock on two and you get to three or four, and then it starts to stagnate. And when you look at the growth, maybe you are getting that referral once a month, once every other month. You're getting a customer a month, but you're starting to go through some natural attrition, right? 10 years in, 15
Churn
years
becomes
in,
real at some point.
churn becomes real. It's not your fault. Like those business owners sold their business. It's everyone's dream. They're getting acquired, they're going to PE, whatever. And that churn cycle starts to slow the growth down. And you'll go through service lulls where you'll lose someone because of egg on your face, and that's hard because the amount you're bringing in is equaling out maybe the amount you're churning, and you start to stagnate. And then when you look at growth, even if you are growing 10 or 15%, most of that growth is because your customers are growing and you're being piggybacked along, which you're enabling that growth, but that's not new logo. And that's when it starts to get risky.